Hello, everyone. I am the Philadelphia Whovian, and this is my very first video, which I'm going to start with a top 10 episodes of my very first Doctor from Classic Who. Now, before I begin, I should explain or give myself a brief introduction. Um, but those people who immediately want to go to the top 10 list, just switch right to 2 minutes because I'm going to stop introducing myself exactly 2 minutes. It doesn't even matter if I don't finish my introduction, but I will definitely stop at 2 minutes. So, I am a woman who actually, well, I got into Doctor Who by sheer accident one day when it happened to be on a television set. You see, I grew up knowing about something called Doctor Who, but I didn't know what it was about. No one even, I don't even remember anyone mentioning what it was about. I just knew it existed somewhere, and I was one of those kids who had a really crappy TV in our house for the longest time where you had to bang the sides of it to get a clear image for a few seconds, and it had like 5 channels. 5. Yeah. Those were the good old days. And they actually kind of were the good old days. But we all have that doctor, if we are a certain age, that was, the doctor that was around when we were born. And I was born in 1986. So I was born during the Sixth Doctor era. So yes, I'm a Colin Baker baby. But I got into Classic Who because I one day just happened to see an episode of New Who on a friend's, TV, and then I got hooked ever since, and now I'm watching Classic Who. So, without further ado, guys, here is my top 10 episodes from the very first Classic Who Doctor I saw. And I ordered, one day, I said, you know what, I really should get into Classic Who, and I'm really going to. So I ordered us one story from the second through seventh Doctor. The first one to arrive in the mail was a story by the fifth Doctor. Yes, that is my cat. One of them. Yeah, I have three. Don't judge me. Do not judge me. They're awesome. Okay, so Um, so yes, Fifth Doctor, my very first Classic Who Doctor. Now I've heard some things about some very mixed reviews about the Fifth Doctor era. Some say his era was bad, it was terrible, it was absolute rubbish. Others say his era was underrated. Then others say he wasn't very good doctor, or he was very young at the time, and following Tom Baker's footsteps was really hard for him. And yes, his acting was fine, but he didn't own it until the very last episode of his The Caves of Androzani. Some say he's very good. Others say he is the first doctor that they had impure thoughts about. You know what I mean? And to be fair, he is quite easy on the eyes. But then again, this is coming from a girl. Hey, cat. This is coming from a girl who has a wide variety or a range of what I consider to be a good looking guy. Pretty much every doctor who is in kind of in my age range, I find him to be perfectly handsome. And doctors who are the older doctors, if I was in their age range, I could see myself finding them to be handsome and very sexy too. So I have a wide range. But yes, the Fifth Doctor, I admit, if you did have impure thoughts about him when he first aired, it's not your fault. Not your fault at all. So now here comes my top 10 list of the Fifth Doctor era. But first, I'm going to give my honorable mention. There's one story that did not make this list, but I think, in my heart, I think it's a very good story. And that is the story written by Christopher Bidmead. Frontios. Oh, Frontios. This is, I think, a very underrated or overlooked story. It happened in the last season of The Fifth Doctor. It's with Tegan, Turlough, and the Fifth Doctor. They go to a place where the last bit of, like, people from Earth are there, and the Earth, had some problems, so these people have come to this location, and they are slowly being taken by the Tetractors. And I love the Tetractors. Oh my gosh. This to me shows the charm of classic Who. The charm, because the Tetractors work great in this story. I'm not sure they would work in New Who. I'm not sure. I would like for them to maybe come back, but they just work good here. And then there's this one line where the daughter, she says, the Earth, it's hungry. Because the Earth, that's how the Tetractors took people through the Earth practically. And I wondered if that's where Chris Chibnall got the idea to suck people down in the Hungry Earth in Cold Blood when the Silurians came back in Series 5, because it's called the Hungry Earth. And here, the Earth, it's hungry. Very good story, deserves an honorable mention in my book. Now here comes my number 10, the story that I think a lot of you would be like, why in the name of Skipanimus does this girl possibly have this on her list? Because a lot of people are not crazy about this story, but I like it. It's another Christopher Bidmead story, I think. Let me see, making sure it's Christopher Bidmead. I don't want to give you the wrong writer. It is. And Christopher Bidmead wrote Castrovalva. Oh, guys, I like Castrovalva. One, it has the Master in it. The Master is back. But why I like that the Master's in it, it's because it segues. It ties into the last story of the Fourth Doctor with Logopolis. It connects the Fourth and the Fifth Doctor. And to remind you, this is the same man. This is the same Time Lord. And I don't recall that ever happening again, definitely not in Classic Who or up until the 12th Doctor in New Who. The idea of the same adventure just continuing to the next Doctor. I like that. And also, the Doctor, his regeneration was rough. It was beginning to fail pretty much. And I like the idea of the Zero Room. Yes, the Zero Room I think is great. And then there is the Nisa and Tegan. Oh, I love Nisa a lot. And Tegan, well, the both of them have to deal with the problem of the TARDIS is going into Event 1. This is all happening at the same time. This is a really great way of you're opening with a bang. So I guess a lot of people don't like Castrovalva, but I just do. Also, I like the invention of Castrovalva. And also, people hate Adric. I don't. He's not perfect. He sometimes says things that are annoying, and he has flaws, but so do other companions that many people like. I don't hate Adric. I don't. So, yes. Castrovalva, my top 10. Here comes number 9. We have Snake Dance or Snake a Dance. I've heard it pronounced two entirely different two ways in that regard. Okay, now let's see. I think it was from my Bailey. Hold on. Yes, Christopher Bailey. He's the writer. Guys, oh, the world building in this I thought was very good, and which is kind of amazing because I wasn't that crazy about the story this is connected to. I believe also written by Christopher Bailey. Kinda. Please don't hate me if you love that story. Please don't. Please don't hate me. I'm just not. I love Snake Dance or Snake Dance way more. And then the snake actually coming at the end, and that was very good special effects for that time. And Tegan like being possessed was very captivating. The story again, it's just a very really tight story. The world building is very impressive. And I'm trying to think, am I forgetting anything else that makes this story just so awesome? I think I've got it all. It's a good, very, very good movie about sorry, it's a very good story about world building. Now we have, oh yes, Resurrection of the Daleks. And I believe that was number 8 on my list by Eric Sayward. And oh, overall, yes, I really like this story, and this is the one we have the departure of Tegan. But what I like about this story is the amount of just the scope. I very much like how, Doctor Who goes back and forth with locations or can go from one location to the next location with very, very good ease. But also, what I like about this is, yes, my dears, he has come back. Davros. And honestly, guys, I really like Davros in this one because I like the way he's written. He wants to take over, he wants to be the leader and the head of the Daleks, but he's not trusting anymore. Because I'm one of those strange people who loves Destiny of the Daleks. But I'm not gonna lie, I was like, Davros, the Daleks. They killed you at the end of Genesis of the Daleks. Why are you so gung ho to help them again? I know they're your creation, but why? But in this, oh, he's learned. Davros is like, yes, they are my creations, but I cannot trust them. I'm going to be wary. So yes, I liked the story overall of Resurrection of the Daleks. And in this, what I also, and a strange thing to like, but I like the doctor picks up a gun and just shoots a Dalek. And I like how in Classic Who, the doctor was about peace. But that's my other cat. Yeah. But the doctor was about peace, but he, at the end of the day, he's still a defender. At the end of the day, he still is not a pussy. He will fight if he needs to. And I like that about Classic Who, which is also something I grew to really love, or about the 11th Doctor too, and also in sometimes with the 12th Doctor. I like when I'm the Doctor, I am a pacifist. But that doesn't mean I'm a pussy. Awesome. So, there we go. I think we're at number 7 right now. I am so sorry if I got that list completely inaccurate. I think this might be written by Eric Sayward too. Yes, it is, and it is The Visitation. Oh, guys, The Visitation, this story, okay. Now, the first season of the Fifth Doctor, some people say it's bad, some people are fine with it, but one thing that I think all mainly agree on is the fact that once the Visitation premiered, that's when it felt like the Fifth Doctor's era was coming together. It was showing promise. And it is with, the aliens who just crash land on Earth and they just, are possessing people with these bracelets or like they're taking them over pretty much. And then it turns out they're going to just completely destroy all of Earth because, they're fugitives. And then you got this nice period piece at the same time. But what I love about this also, Nisa. I love Nisa in this. Nisa is often overlooked. She's a companion that not many people talk about. But I love Nisa. I love Nisa so much. And what I love about this is it's Nisa, she shows how she, can handle her own. Nisa, she is, while everyone can be freaking out, Nisa will stay calm, cool, collected. She's smart, she's intelligent, she's educated, and she can get the job done. She's the one who destroys the android, Nisa, and I like that about her. I think she's a bit underrated as a companion. And also, the thespian in this, yes, you know what I'm talking about, the actor in this one. This guy was, oh, great performance and so underrated. Great character. All right, now we're getting into, I believe, number, is it 5 or 6? I want to say it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it might be number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6. Sorry. The Planet of Fire. I think it's by Peter Grimwade, and it is by Peter Grimwade. This guy is actually very underrated. Peter Grimwade got talent. Um, and the Planet of Fire, I love the look of it. I think the story is very good for a second to last story of a doctor. And then we have Perry. And you know what I love about Perry? First story. And this girl shows up in a sexy pink bikini. And I love that. I love how the writers in the show at the time was like, yeah, we know the female body keeps the dads in the couch watching with their kids. We're not ashamed to admit this because nowadays, if the doctor's companion showed up wearing a bikini on a beach, even though it's a beach and it's a perfectly right place to wear a bikini, they'd be like, oh my God, women are being objectified. You know what I think? I think Perry looked gorgeous while she was in this episode in that bikini, and she was a badass while she was being gorgeous throughout the episode. And I am perfectly okay sometimes with a woman being sexy and a badass at the same time. I was okay when Leia did it in Return of the Jedi. You know what? Sometimes I think sexy is a form of badass. You can say that I'm ruining the female species all you want to. I'm fine with it. The Master was back. It's a good story. I personally like it. It gets points off um, from people because of Chameleon coming in it long after he has not been in previous stories since the King's Demons. I'm not going to hold it against this story that Chameleon was left out of previous stories. I'm not. I will see this episode for what it is. I love it. Okay, and then I think we are at number 5. Don't worry. Oh, this one, it's a part of a set called The Doctors Revisited, but in it there is another Eric Sayward episode. Eric Sayward, 5 was your era. Earth Shock. The Cybermen are back. Yes, the Cybermen are back. The Cybermen are a very interesting villain for me. Because when it comes to New Who, they're not my favorite villains. They rarely, almost never, are my favorite in my favorite stories. But classic Who got the Cybermen right. And Earthshock, it was beautiful. And then Adric, I'm not gonna lie, I practically cried when Adric died. He's a boy. And I know he wasn't perfect, but he really did improve and he did try to help. I saw his love for Nisa by the end. I saw him grow to love Tegan. He just wanted to help the doctor. And with it turns out that Freighter, he's a good kitty. It turns out that freighter caused the destruction or caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. Goes to show you 11 is right. You can't change history when you're a part of it. All right, but yes, I do love this story. Oh gosh, we're already hitting 20 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. Number 4, don't worry, I did not forget about it. I did not forget you, Terrence Dix. Wait, did Terrence write this? Yes, he did. The Five Doctors. Do I really have to say why this is good? Do I? Do I? Well, even if you don't think this is the best of the, multi-doctor stories, it is still very good. Between the doctors, and the companions that they encounter, and that one robot who took out the Cybermen. The Master is in there too, and then Rassilon tricks the president, because Rassilon's a dick. Yes, I like this story. I loved all 5 doctors. I mean, I know that William Hartnell, I'm so William, I know you would have been here if you could have been. But you, either whoever replaced you, that actor who replaced you were good, William Hartnell. But he was good too. I have to give credit to him. All the doctors were fantastic in it. Good story. Terrence, you did a good job, man. Now, number 3. This is a story that I think Eric Pringle wrote. Um, yes, he did. And I know those who might have thought this would be on my list, you're probably surprised why it was this high. I just love it. I love The Awakening. It's only 2 episodes, meaning it's about an hour. Um, But guys, there's just something about this story that floats my boat a lot. I'm not apologizing. Where, the doctor takes Tegan to see her grandfather, and it turns out that that year in the 1980s is, linked to another era during time of like a barbaric time of England. And oh my gosh, I love the malice. Oh, such a good villain. I love you, Malice. I think it's just a very good Earthbound story. Oh, the Malice, you just so cool. And another character I love from this is the one female, the only maybe besides Tegan's grandfather, the character who she's the only one who's not being affected by the malice. She's trying to get this place to see order, and she tries to get Ben, the cop, to wake up, and he does. He is a good guy, but that one character who assists the doctor, great character. Great performance. I wish I can remember the character's name. I can't. I'm a human. I'm not a saint, but I just liked The Awakening. I know people are surprised it's so high on the list. It's just my thing. Number 2. This story is hailed as one of the greatest stories, if not the greatest story, of not only the 5th Doctor era, but just of Doctor Who in general. And it deserves it because it is awesome, because it is great, and because it is Robert Holmes in the Caves of Androzani. Were you really of any doubt? This story, there is just not one thing about it, not one moment I do not love it. And the villain, I mean, um, oh gosh, not Morgus, though Morgus was a fantastic villain. Shiraz Jack. Then again, he's more of a tragic hero and slash antagonist than anything else. But Shiraz Jack, This guy, he just was a villain that you, or an antagonist, or a tragic hero, that you cannot help but connect with. You feel sorry for him because he was not a bad guy. He was a great guy. And I love that they got an actor who just had this ballet like way about him, where he just had a grace and elegance. And his infatuation with Perry was creepy, but you know you loved it. Yeah, don't even try and lie. You loved his creepy, weird obsession with Perry. And again, I loved Perry and the doctor in this, and the doctor just racing, just doing his best to get to Perry. That's all he cares about. And it's not like he's trying to save the world. He's just in a time, in a moment in time where everyone is against him and Perry, and he's just trying to save her. And with his last breath, he sacrifices it all just to save her. No shouting out, "Oh my God, I have so much more I can do." No, I'm the doctor. My companion, who I only knew for a brief time, needs me to save her and sacrifice myself. I'm going to sacrifice my darn self. That's how you go out. That is the doctor. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Wait a minute. How is that? The Caves of Androzani, not the number one. Guys, here's the thing. I know this deserves number one. Everyone knows this deserves number one. Or at least mostly everyone knows. But here's the thing. Everyone does know it deserves number one. The last entry, the number one that I'm choosing, is a set that I just don't ever hear anyone give enough credit on. They overlook or they don't give any credit to. I'm giving this my number one because I just think it deserves it. It is so good and I love it. And it is the Black Guardian trilogy. Oh gosh, I love it. And yes, I'm including all three in the number one slot because you know what? It came as a boxed set. So I'm going to include it as one entity, despite that it is three separate stories by three separate writers. Are you going to get mad about that? I doubt it. I doubt it. And if you do, are you really mad? First thing, it is Modern Undead by Peter Grimwade. Modern Undead. What a fantastic story. The bringing back of the Brigadier, of the doctors and companions in two different time zones that are linked, and two Brigadiers at once. Modern, oh, Modern is a great, great character, and to see Nisa and Tegan age quickly, and also they almost died because they caught the disease, and then the doctor having to be willing to give up his many other regenerations and not be a Time Lord to save them. This also brought Turlo, and there's probably some other awesome things I'm forgetting that happened in this story. Oh, that's right. It brought the Black Guardian. The Black Guardian, if hopefully I'm not incorrect, but the Black Guardian made his appearance, I think, in the Fourth Doctor's series, The Keys to Time. And he appears at the end of the Armageddon Factor. We see him briefly, but in the Black Guardian trilogy, we see him at his height. He is awesome. He's a great villain. Modern Undead. Next, we have Terminus by Steve Gallagher. Now, some people do not like this one. They think it is the bad one in the bunch. I admit it's not as good as Modern Undead and Enlightenment, but I think personally it's underrated. It's very good. I think Steve Gallagher did a great job. Because first of all, that first story is awesome. Where it ends with those like two raider guys, two man and woman, but the man he shouts out, "This is Terminus! We're on a leper ship! We're all going to die!" what a powerful way to end the first episode. And then you have the lepers, and then you have Nisa again on her own. But while I do like the story as a whole, I think it's pretty good. Again, that last episode though, whoa, the departure of Nisa. I love it. Love it. So good. Why do I love it? Why do I think it's great? Because it's so simple. Nisa is just leaving. It's the same reason that I love the departure of Joe Grant, of Leela, Ian and Barbara, of Martha Jones. These are not companions that died or got separated from the doctor, got left behind. Those are good endings too, but sometimes I just like a story where the companion is just like, it's my time to go. I've learned. I'm now independent. I'm going to go off. I'm going to do my own thing. And Peter Davison's performance when Nisa, played by Sarah Sutton, leaves is perfect. It's not too overplayed. It's not too underplayed. It is just enough. The way it's just enough when Leela leaves and the fourth doctor says, "I'll miss you too, Savage," to himself. And when Joe Grant leaves, the doctor, it's just the wind is knocked out of him. And that's what it was with Peter Davison in Terminus. The wind was knocked out of him, like it was knocked out when Martha left. The wind just gets knocked out. And Nisa, played by Sarah Sutton, she gave a great performance too. She did not overdo it or underdo it. I loved it. I just think it's good. It's not as good as Maldron Undead and the last entry, which is, oh, Barbara Clegg, you did me wrote a great episode when you wrote Enlightenment. I'm not going to spoil this one by telling you too much about it because you should see it. I mean, you should see all of the Black Guardian trilogy, but this is just another perfect episode. Enlightenment. Well freaking done. So guys, that is my top 10 episodes of the 5th Doctor era. I am sorry, this video went on for a long time. I'll try and get better at lessening them. The time on them, I mean. But I will say this. This is with the 5th Doctor being the first Doctor I got into when it came to Classic Who because his DVD came first. I like that the first Doctor I saw from Classic Who was a doctor from the 80s. 80s Doctor Who gets a bad rap, in my opinion. It's often considered the worst of, not often, but there is a definite circle that regards 80s Doctor Who as the worst of Doctor Who. You are a dirty, filthy liar. Whoever, no offense to whoever thinks that it's terrible. But you, why do you think that? Each doctor in the 80s of Doctor Who had some good stories to his run. Yes, he did. There are some great ideas rolling around there. I find it to be the underrated side of the Doctor Who world. 80s Doctor Who, you do have a special place in my heart. And I have enjoyed my time and this is not nostalgia being an 80s baby myself. No, it's not. I did not get into Doctor Who until the 2000s. This is just a coincidence. It's coincidental that I like 80s Doctor Who. So guys, that's my top 10 list. Again, I'm sorry for the length. I will try and get better about this in the future if I even have people who watch my videos. We'll see. But guys, so hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me, do you know what your top 10 favorite 5th Doctor stories are? Or what was your first 5th Doctor story you ever saw? Have you not even seen the 5th Doctor? Well, if you have, or whatever, questions, comments, or concerns you have, let me know in the comment section. And Also, um, well, to be honest, guys, this is a channel where, I mean, I want we all have our strong opinions about things we don't like. I'm okay with you disagreeing with everything I've said or everything that people say in the comment section, but please always keep not only a peaceful way about it, but disagree in a nice way, not in an optimistic, just, you know what, we all agree to disagree. We all have different feelings, opinions, and just be nice. There's no reason to call anyone a name or be negative any sort of way. So I'm okay with the, disagreements. I'm okay with you disagreeing with what I say. Um, just I would like a positive environment. There's a lot of negativity in the world. I just, do we really need it sometimes? Do we really? So again, I'm fine with you, any disagreements. Just, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and you enjoy each other if there is a comment in the comment section. There's even someone who watches this video. And I hope you, tune in if I release any more videos. So this is the Philadelphia Whovian. I hope to see you again, and I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Once again, have a good evening. Philadelphia Whovian, over and out.